What's your take on this James Murdoch situation?
I mean, I think it kind of makes sense. Tesla, there's this kind of weird paradox with Tesla where they want to rein in Elon Musk, but they don't want to rein him in too much because his presence and kind of his, essential Elon-ness is part of the appeal. So I think what's happening with Murdoch is like he's pretty close to Elon Musk. I think they're friends. He's been on the board for a while, but he's also independent. He has his own profile. He creates a little bit of at least a veneer of independence that the board had compared with what the board had before.
So, Maynard, your note is likely the reason that Tesla shares have run up over the last couple of days. And curious if this James Murdoch potential makes you more or less optimistic.
I think the most important thing really is that Elon Musk is really just focused on building Model 3s and getting deliveries out there. Anything that really just gets that focus down to that, I think is actually a very positive thing. So if James Murdoch's the one who can actually rein him in and prevent some of that the tweets going out, and the focus really comes back to the deliveries, which is really the fundamentals of the business, I think that will end up being a very positive for the company.
Well, the question, Max, is can James Murdoch rein him in? I mean, James Murdoch has been on the board, and Elon Musk's behavior has been as it has been.
No, I mean, I think the reining in is going to have to come from Elon himself, and just because of the sort of his larger-than-life profile, the extent to which kind of his sort of personality has defined Tesla. I think if you believe in this company, what you are hoping for is that Elon himself will see the light, not that the SEC or a board member or someone else is going to do that for him. And I think if we've seen anything, if we've learned anything over the last few months, is that Elon, even when Tesla has been dinged for various reasons, he's still been willing to kind of be his own person. And so yeah, I mean, I think that the chairmanship is important. It's an important milestone for the company, but I don't think that alone is going to bring much change.
So, Maynard, talk to us about how you came to your conclusion that this is a buy, and in the face of some staunch opposition from the bears. I just mentioned an earlier analyst who believes actually Tesla shares are going to go in the opposite direction.
So my big call here really is we're taking an angle of looking at the sector really from a disruptive perspective and from a technology angle, which I've covered for the past 20 years. And a lot of people will talk about electric and autonomous as really kind of being the disruptors. We look at it as really kind of the enablers, and I think this is going to enable a platform ecosystem. So think about developers building applications directly on top of the car, and it'll turn that car into an application. So you download something, you press a button, and then you turn that vehicle into a ride-sharing vehicle, or you download a different app and turn it into a delivery vehicle. And ultimately, the reason why we're so bullish on Tesla is because if you actually look at the commercial technology that's already built into the car, a lot of those platform ecosystem technology is already there. And that's what makes us really positive on the long-term story for Tesla.
Now, we know that production numbers over the last several weeks have looked good, but what we don't know is if Tesla can sustain that level of production over the next few weeks. You are optimistic here. You believe production numbers will look good. You believe Tesla will reach profitability, but what has to happen in order for that to happen in your view?
So you're absolutely right. Our outperform is definitely predicated on the near term and then being able to generate cash. We've done a lot of work around zero-emission vehicle credits, and we think in the back half of this year they can generate somewhere in the neighborhood of around $500 million. And remember, there's no cost associated with this, so this is going to be pure cash flow, which I think helps in addition to the free cash flow generation that I think they'll get going into the third and into the fourth quarter. And then I also think that they have some unused debt commitments that they can also tap, which will be more than enough to cover the debt commitments that are coming up over the next 3 quarters.
Now, Max, we're getting some new information that Tesla is closing in on a $145 million plot for its China factory. Obviously, China, a huge part of Tesla's potential. What does this mean? Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal. The Chinese market for electric cars is, massive. Tesla really hasn't made much progress there at all. And if Tesla is able to get into the market and really sell some cars, that will go a long way to sort of improving its bottom line and just generating huge amounts of revenue. Of course, with China, especially in the Donald Trump era, there are always regulatory hurdles. So, being able to find a location for this factory, that's an important, kind of first step in terms of building a factory.